This is Becky. She's 16 years old and is an average girl in high school. She has her closest friends, Jane and Melissa, who support her and love her no matter what. Becky tries hard in her classes and she's always motivated to learn and engage in school every day. She also has an eager passion for running, so she's involved in her school's cross-country team. Becky also loves social media. She's constantly on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Recently, Becky has found herself unmotivated. She hasn't been able to sleep much and has experienced a loss of appetite. She has also started to isolate herself from her friends and is not interested in her hobbies anymore, like being on the cross-country team. Every time Becky was at home, she went on social media. However, participating in social media through the lens of depression enabled a sense of negative thinking and validated faulty beliefs. For example, she got depressed every time she saw a post or photos of other people's glamorized lives. Soon, Becky became a victim of her own thoughts as she became less attuned to the outside world around her. She lost interest not only with her close friends, Melissa and Jane, but with her family members as well. No one knew what was going on with Becky, who used to be such a happy and positive girl. She soon quit her favorite sport, quit trying in school, and began to isolate herself even from her closest friends. As a result, her grades dropped significantly and usual conversations with her teachers and friends stopped as well. Extremely worried about Becky, her close friends Jane and Melissa decided to convince Becky to go meet a local therapist who might be able to figure out what was going on with her. After a long conference with the therapist, Mrs. Boyd, Becky was diagnosed with a major depressive disorder, or MDD. Mrs. Boyd said that depression can have a significant effect on the brain. There are 3 parts of the brain that play a role in depression: the hippocampus, amygdala, and prefrontal cortex. She said the hippocampus is located near the center of the brain and it is responsible for regulating the production of a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is produced during times of mental stress, including during times of depression. She told Becky that many problems can rise when excessive amounts of cortisol are sent to the brain as a result of a chemical imbalance in the body. In healthy brains, neurons are produced throughout a person's life in the hippocampus. However, in depressive brains, long-term exposure to increased cortisol levels can slow the production of new neurons, which can lead to memory problems. Mrs. Boyd explained to Becky how social media could have increased her risk of depression. She was constantly checking her phone, looking at all her different social media accounts caused anxiety and stress as she tried to keep up with all her different social media, which increased the production of cortisol. An increased risk of cortisol can also shrink the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for regulation of emotions and making decisions. Another way social media can contribute to depression. She explained how anxiety is the most common mental illness in the US today, affecting over 40 million of adults aged 18 and above. She explained how major depressive disorder is more common in women and in men, and that it affects over 6.7% of the population over 18. Studies have shown that people that use more than 5 different social media accounts are 3 times more likely to be a victim of depression compared to those who use 0 to 2. One of the reasons behind this is because people who use many different social media accounts end up multitasking between the different apps, and studies found that multitasking is related to decreased attention, cognition, and mood.